for my.
All right, well, everyone, shut the hell up.
Be quiet.
I was kind of killing time because I have another song here, but I couldn't pull it up in time. I wanted to make sure I got it just right. Here it is. So, because it's kind of Christmas spirit now.
Oh, God.
Quiet night, strike. Holy night, strike. All is calm, shall not be infringed. We the people have rights. We the people have rights.
Okay. Thank you.
Bravo. Bravo. Right on, man. Right on.
I have to give credit to G-Webs for writing the first half.
Smeggy, you man.
All right. Well, welcome all to Hit or Miss. Whoa, what was that?
It's going to be a hit tonight.
Well, welcome everyone to Hit or Miss on Night Strike, and thank you, Smeggy, for your musical inclinations, and thank you for singing your Holy Night Strike.
Yeah, for sure. It was good times.
Yeah. Well, let's see who's out there on the chat right now and say hello to them. We got Midnight Range TM out there. We got Jelsma Outdoors, Sean Callahan. We got Grim90. We got Rich White. We have SOS Guy. And we have 2 Live Moo. What's going on, 2 Live Moo? And on the YouTube, on the Gun Channel side, who do we have? We got Dano. We got Moon Food. We got Mr. Hold on. I'm looking in the wrong place. I was looking in the lobby. We got Robbie. We got Garage Guns. You're in here, Garage. We got Psycho Camp. We got Moon Food. We got Rick out there. So not many people on Gun Channel side right now.
Which is a damn shame.
Yeah,
I'm pulling it up right now. I was in the middle of watching Mac's chat, so I just jumped over here a second ago. So I gotta get all my windows open and whatnot.
Apparently, we have never enough ammo over there telling me to fuck off. Well, fuck you too, sir. Hold on, Matt. I got something for you.
Man, what is it with all you guys and all this man love?
I don't know, but
everybody, fuck somebody. It's weird.
Go fuck yourself.
You and me both.
Wait, what?
What?
The fuck was that?
That's Nightstrike's girlfriend.
No, I don't know. It's my cell phone. I don't know.
I thought we discussed his girlfriend.
Wait. That was clearly me saying "go fuck yourself," and then somebody else.
Somebody's phone saying "you and me both." Yes.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
All right. So.
Yes.
How rude.
I gotta get that one. All right. So my panel tonight, we got Garage Guns. What's going on, Garage?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the invite.
We got Matt. Never enough ammo. What's going on, Matt?
Wow, what's going on, man? This is I feel so honored to be on your chat. It's
been a while, hasn't it?
It's
You'll
amazing.
get over it.
I mean,
yeah. Okay, that's enough.
I don't know where to go with this.
I
feel like I'm getting Christmas early.
That's enough.
And and I don't want a lot for Christmas. There's just one thing that I need. I don't really care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree.
Oh, God.
What the hell's going on right now?
All he wants for Christmas is his 2 front teeth.
No. All he wants for Christmas is you.
That's one of those. No. All right, moving on. We got Rick.
Hey, thanks for the invite.
All right. And Smeggy.
I'm sorry, what?
Smeggy, thank you for showing up.
Hey, how's everyone doing tonight?
Yeah, we're doing
How are we doing?
Rock on, bro.
Nice.
We got Ellis. What's going on, Ellis?
Fuck you, Midnight.
Aren't you guys family?
No.
No, that's Night Strike, not Midnight. That's
Yeah.
he's talking about other Travis.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yes. Yes, I'm
Oh,
talking about other Travis.
He's telling
Yeah.
the
I read
Travis.
the email you sent
Sorry.
Nightstrike, you prick.
And then we have, last but certainly not least, we have Travis P11. What's going on, Travis?
Hey, I mean, I'm doing all right. Thank you for the invite. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right.
So tonight, all I have to talk about is just what's going on in the news and whatever else you guys want to bring up. Ellis, you had said you had a question you wanted to get through the room first.
Okay. I'm in the hunt for an optic for an AR. Now I've narrowed it down to 3. We have the Hollow Sun. We have the DI, and we have an aim point. Where should I
Aim
go
point.
with this?
Vortex.
Aim point.
Vortex Strike Fire 2.
Let's run it through the room, all right? Garage, what do you think you should get?
Aim point micro.
Okay. Matt, what do you think? Even paying
Da,
attention.
da, 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 da.
You just skip him. No one gives a fuck about his opinion, anyways.
Wait, what? What happened? Huh?
Jesus Christ, dude. You guys act like he's fucking Jesus. Who cares what the fuck he thinks? No one likes him anyways.
All right, Rick, what do you think?
Vortex.
Okay.
Vortex was not even one of the options.
It was a Hollow Sun, an aim point, and what was the other one?
DI optics.
Okay.
No, seriously though. My wife was talking to me. What the fuck happened? What'd I miss?
Okay.
Okay.
Ellis is looking at getting an optic. He has an option between 3 of them.
What kind of optic?
It's a red dot.
A red dot.
I'm
Okay.
picking up a red dot for an AR. I've narrowed it down to 3 choices.
Uh-huh.
The Hollow Sun military grade 515 CM,
Uh-huh.
the aim point micro,
Okay.
or a DI optic.
I'd go aim point.
That's 2 for aim point.
Rick, what do you think? Out of those choices.
Aim point.
What do you think, Smeggy?
But you all use what's called it? Matt done a great video on the Bushnell 125, wasn't it?
That's a good one.
TRS-25.
Although, what's your price range?
Okay, I'm not going any higher than 575.
Okay, honestly, if I could go out and buy a red dot right now, the red dot I would go and buy is the Trigicon MRO. It's around $400, and then you get yourself the correct mount for it. That would be my #1 recommendation right now in your price range. Go look at the Trigicon MRO. Just check it out. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine. But I would look at that one.
The man is
The
spoken.
Trigicons are very nice. The aim points I obviously don't have to worry about it with the Trigicons, but the aim points with their battery life, like you're looking at like 4 years if you don't turn it off.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, now let me tell you why I'm leaning honestly toward the Hollow Sun, because this particular Hollow Sun is military grade. It has went through United States military testing. It is backed up by solar power and battery power, so it's dual powered. That to me is something special.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you laid out 3 options, and we're looking for people to back up the one you've already chosen. Is that correct?
No. I just want your opinions.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking around. No, there's nothing wrong with the Hollow Sun. Hollow Sun's it's good shit. But everybody's. I mean, nothing you've mentioned is crap. You're going to be happy with any of those red dots. You're not going to be disappointed with any of them. They're all going to do what you want them to do.
I would say talk to Dead Horse about the Hollow Sun thing. Though wasn't he the one who just sent one back or something? He's had bad luck with them. But I have to say, I'm kind of interested in the Hollow Sun. I think they look neat, and they seem to be
Actually,
decent quality for a cheaper price. I know they're fucking Chinese made or whatever, but
Everything is
Word.
nowadays.
Yeah.
It was actually,
Which aim point are you looking at?
shit. Hold on. You had to ask me that. What was
This is
the
the aim point micro or whatever.
Yeah, you guys said a micro.
Dude, who the hell's making so much background noise?
Oh, it's not Struck. He's farting again.
Is
No,
this
it's not.
a professional podcast or what?
No, it's not.
I believe
okay.
it's Matt. He's in the garage.
Ain't me. Shut the fuck up. I'm literally just sitting here drinking vodka. So
Hey, do
y'all
you
go,
have
you can go fuck yourself, Nightstrike. Don't make me call you Jonas on your own chat.
Do it, and I will eject your ass. I ain't playing.
Ooh, shit.
That sounded like a threat.
You know, there's a song I'm particularly fond of.
I'm sure you are.
It's a good song. It's an older song.
Oh,
Devil with a blue.
It's got a good beat, but I think it holds up, even though it's an older song. I think most people can get along with it. I don't think it's won any awards. Certainly didn't get the band into the
Hey, Travis,
Rock
what
and
do you
Roll
think?
Hall of Fame, but I'm pretty sure it's a good song. It's called Jonas with the Blue Dress. You ever heard that one? It's good.
What the fuck are you talking about? So, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go with the chat and say Vortex. I know you didn't list that either, but I have a Vortex and I really like it. So, and they're decent prayer, $100-something. You know, you're good to go. And buy some extra ammo.
There you go.
Travis, what do you think?
okay. If I could go back and not spend the money that I spent on all the junk red dots that I bought in my time and all the mediocre red dots that I bought, I would have just bought one good one that could have bounced between various rifles. One that I would have just spent the money on and been done with it, and not have to worry about it again. I would have just gone with an aim point. I mean, I've never spent
$50 scopes is saying
I've
buy a
got a
good
Vortex
red dot.
Strike Fire 2 right here in the bush. No, I'm just saying if I could do it again, I just buy something top, high quality, top notch that's going to do the job, and I don't have to worry about it. I'm not saying that they're not infallible, but it's just like if you can get something that's going to be durable and it's going to last you, and you got the money available for it, get it, take advantage of it, and get it, and then you just got a good one that it's going to last you a long time. So. Oh, I just buy the cheap red dots just to try them, but I mean, I wouldn't trust my life to them in terms of like a combat situation. But you want one good one to get you through whatever, then get the aim point.
Right, and remember, look at Travis's example. Never buy a Sky CPX2.
Now, on the other end, I got a $15 Bushnell right here, Ellis, that I will sell you. Where's it at? Right there. That thing has been through hell and back, and I would put it up against any aim point. So,
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll pass. Thank you.
All right. Hey, man.
If you do decide to go with the Vortex, let me know and I'll get you the 40% off.
Ooh.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Travis is thinking, no, hold on.
I've always wanted a Spark,
off.
Well, Vortex does the military, it's 40% off all their optics and stuff. So
Yeah, but is that stolen valor if I use your discount?
No, because I'll buy it and send it to you.
All right, never mind. Okay, there we go. It's a gift from Warrior. There you go.
Him
That
buying it, then deciding he doesn't really like it, and then just selling
Alright.
it.
So he's
for-
basically straw purchasing a Vortex.
Well, it's an accessory. It doesn't count.
Yeah,
I bet
no,
it
I'm
does
just
the
saying.
Vortex.
But no, seriously, man. If you got the money for an aim point, just like I'd love to have an EOTech or an aim point, just have that one good red dot that is going to be my go-to. Once in a while, the older I get, the more I like to get things that are just quality, things that are just good, well built, that are just optics is one of those things, especially where your life's going to depend on it, and clarity makes a big difference. Functionality and reliability makes a big difference. I'm just saying that's what I would do.
And Foos is in here now. What's up, Foos?
Nothing much.
Irons. He's going to say irons.
No. I have a red dot aim point. I did what Travis was talking about. Buy once, cry once. especially for your main one that you shoot a lot. If you want to go cheap on your other ones, go ahead. Your backups.
I'm definitely in the same boat with Travis. Like, I'm big on aim point, EOTech, and what's the other one? Trijicon. Yeah, those are my go-tos. Just depends on what I'm using that particular rifle for.
Right. All right. Well, all right. So here's a question, guys. I've heard that North Korea is stirring shit up again. So I want to get your thoughts on that.
About North Korea.
Well, I want to talk about it. So if you don't want to talk about it, Smeggy, I guess I'm not holding you here.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You know, if you need to, if you don't want to talk about it, you want to do something else, go for it.
Nope, I'm being held here against my will. I'm in an abusive relationship. I probably deserved it. I should have had dinner ready. It was cold, all that stuff. I understand.
Well, you're a snowman.
I walked into a doorknob. It's all my fault.
Jesus. I did not say that whatsoever. Stop trying to...
Sorry, I'm just in a fucking fiery mood, so...
Dude.
Everybody's edgy, man. I don't think everybody's under-rested from the holiday, I guess, huh?
I'm good.
Take a shot or something. But
yeah,
I want to talk about it, so I know we'll probably...
All right, let's take a death pop.
So, North Korea's fired another missile again. I don't know whether it's actually gone anywhere or not, or fallen down into the ocean.
Into the water.
Yeah, but
it went straight up and straight down.
What do you guys think? I mean, do you really think they're going to be able to actually fire a missile at us?
It won't go very far.
I don't think they can hit us.
Well, it's like trying to hit a 1,000-yard target with a 410 shotgun.
Oh, that's not true, dude. Their missile, I mean, I forget the numbers exactly. It went like freaking, was it like 1,200 miles up over the surface, or like it went into outer space, which is what intercontinental ballistic missiles do. They go into outer space, then they come back down. The thing that North Korea hasn't figured out yet is how to keep their warhead from disintegrating on re-entry. So that's why everyone was worried about like the electric pulse thing, because that's what happens when you detonate a nuke at high altitude. They're worried that when they shot it up, like by accident, as it's coming back down, it would blow up at high altitudes and then mess up all of our electronics.
Yeah.
Look, the worst thing we can do at this point is underestimate an insane motherfucker who thinks he's a god because he's been raised to believe it when he has nuclear weapons.
I mean, he's like
that's
the
the stupidest thing we can do.
It might not work 100%
He's a crazy,
reliable,
angry fat kid.
Yeah, and he has nuclear weapons. So let's not underestimate him. I know we like to joke about North Korea. I've got videos joking about North Korea and how much of a joke they are. But in the end, this is a legitimately an insane motherfucker. And it's not completely his fault. He was raised to believe that he is this special person that is not human and is a god and all this other crap.
He's a special person.
Yeah, he's a special person. Yeah,
but
we're talking about this motherfucker. Look at the way he had to have been raised by his grandfather and his father. Okay, and he's put in charge of this country, and he's put in charge of nuclear weapons. Okay, this is not somebody you joke around with. All right, he doesn't understand. He doesn't care nor understand about consequences. You know, he believes probably most of the shit that people say about him in his country.
He poisoned his brother or whatever, right? Isn't that what they were saying?
Yeah,
He's
so
pretty much
the
killed
top
off his entire
official
family.
or whoever the hell he just killed.
yeah. So I know this is not the worst thing we can do is underestimate it. The chances are this guy is just never going to be able to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. Let's all hope, but you do not underestimate that.
Let's face it.
You don't take any chances.
He is definitely jaw-free.
Mm-hmm. Well, he absolutely is.
Because his uncle got drunk one night and was like, "You suck," and then all of a sudden his uncle shows up dead the next morning. Like, come on.
His uncle's definitely Joffrey, and Joffrey's not that dude that you trust, right? Like, you may look at him and go, he's a fucking little spoiled little bitch, and he's crazy and all this other stuff, but you don't then go, yeah, but he has nuclear weapons. He's a joke. No, you go, oh, he has nuclear weapons? Yeah, let's keep a very close eye on this little retarded motherfucker.
Now, I have a question. What happens if they do actually successfully get a missile onto, like, say, the beaches of either, Hawaii or California, but it doesn't detonate. It doesn't do anything. They just get it on the beach. Would that be enough? Would that be enough for us to bomb the fuck out of them?
They got lucky when they crossed the DMZ when they were shooting at their soldier. One of their guys actually crossed the line that they weren't supposed to cross, and then the South Korean soldier drugged the North Korean soldier back. The guy that got shot 5 times. They got lucky that wasn't a declaration of war right there, and that was some dude not paying attention to where he was going.
Well, they're still in a declaration of war.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like an official light it up kind of situation. You drop anything on our coastline, it's over, kid.
Well, I think in that sense that they were more concerned about respecting the proper lines with that one guy, as opposed to.
Well, yeah, but they have to do the same thing with all of us.
Yeah,
like, it's not it's not just that one guy in South Korea. It's they do some shit in Hawaii. That's the United States, motherfucker.
Yeah,
you're toast. Like that's ample reason to fry them. Now, I don't think we would, honestly. I don't think we would. I don't think there is any, regardless of who's president, regardless of who their advisors are, that's going to say, yes, let's nuke North Korea, knowing that the vast majority of the country is basically just a bunch of fucking poverty-stricken slaves that don't know what's going on, that don't understand. There's nobody that's going to. I mean, it's not. I just don't think we're going to see a scenario where we nuke North Korea.
No,
send troops in, maybe.
What about destroying
bomb the shit out of them from offshore? Maybe
destroy their test facilities.
To quote Mr. Knives, we would Moab the fuck out of them.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. We don't need to use
nuclear weapons because a Moab gives you the power, the explosion of a nuke. Without any of the backlash,
I can absolutely see that. But I don't think we're at the point as a civilized society we're going to nuke the shit out of a country that we know is just. I mean, literally, they've turned their population into mindless slaves that don't know what's going on and don't know any better, and that just cower to the regime and that kind of thing. We've gotten to that point. I mean, you gotta feel bad for the people in North Korea. You seriously? I mean, these people
making sure
don't understand.
North Korea, not California.
Yeah, North Carolina. Same thing, right? Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Just making sure.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to feel bad for these people. They don't know any other life. They've been raised to believe this dude's basically their god, and they don't know anything other than that life. You can't. You have to feel horrible for them.
It is sad
living that way.
So, so we're all in agreement. If they even land just like a dud missile on our beaches, that's enough.
Oh yeah. Not even on.
They
our
wouldn't
beaches,
even have to go that far.
No, within our
territorial waters.
Yeah, territorial waters. Was that 200 miles offshore or something like that?
Yeah,
200 or 220.
Maybe 20. I know there was a 2 and a 0 in there.
Garage, do you know what the distance is?
That's completely out of my realm, but it wouldn't make it that far anyway with the ships that we got off the coast of Japan. As soon as something launched and we suspected it heading our way, it would just get shut down anyway.
Right.
Even an ICBM?
Mm-hmm. They have the capabilities.
Okay. We have satellites for that shit.
Pretty much every every superpower in the world has been preparing for that because that's how they see the next big war going. So that's been their
priority,
since the early 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, guys, it says territorial waters are considered 12 nautical miles or 13.8 miles.
So half a marathon.
They'd have to get pretty close, but yeah.
All right.
Stop that, Smigs.
Sorry, I need to go get my Mountain Dew.
You don't have any
No,
Mountain
you
Dew?
need liquor.
It's in the fridge.
Uh-oh, we got more mail.
You just need liquor.
I
As in the
actually
drink,
don't have
not
any
two
liquor in the house.
Okay.
You don't have any liquor? What?
No, I got like half a case of beer in the fridge, and that's it.
All
That's
right.
I haven't bought liquor in a couple of years, man.
Drink that in the next 5 minutes, and we'll be good.
Nah, I have a Mountain Dew.
Oh, and Jonas, I need to shoot my Chichilian Mauser sometime.
You need to do it on camera.
Yeah, I do. And post that shit.
Yeah.
Along with my, I'm gonna call it my Byzantine instead of Belize or Brazilian Mauser. I'll do them both.
Now, are you also going to show off your new Makarov as well?
Oh, the Makarov that I really don't care for because the safety chews the shit out of my hand.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna keep it.
You won't sell it to me because you're gonna hold on to it just to spite me. I heard the podcast.
Yeah.
I heard what was going on. Did you see the comment that I put in Matt's video? Obviously not, because I was gonna make you a delicious offer on that pistol. But since you're not gonna sell it, I'll take my $600 and go elsewhere. Fine.
That's okay. Now, Travis, it's okay
I'll go
because
get my own Makarov.
I guilted him into spending almost another $500.
So he could probably use some cash right now. So sell me the damn Makarov and let's be
It was
done with it.
$440. Yeah,
444 or something.
Yeah,
I saw that
$444.
shit.
Yeah.
Come on, Foos. It's been a year, man. Work with me, man. I'm not getting any younger here, right? All right.
If you and I ever see each other, I'll gift it to you.
All right, Tulsa in April.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
Guns and beer
Karaoke.
and alcohol.
We'll make a
Karaoke.
trade. We'll make a trade. How's that? There you go.
Wait, what are you going to give me? Sexual favors is not on the table. Or is it?
I didn't say that.
He will. Travis,
He's giving you that for free.
Now wait.
Something out of
Travis-
here? I don't know. Yeah.
Travis vows here and now to be your Belle Biv DeVoe backup dancer at karaoke in Tulsa.
Oh God. Yes. We can do that.
There you go. That's it. It's done.
Wait. Maybe we need a top 5 things you would do for a Mac.
like a MacBook or what?
No, like
Makarov.
Return of the Mac.
Speaking of Mac, did you guys see
Little Mac?
yes, I did.
Tell you
Mike
what, I'll
Tyson's
tell you
Punch
what.
Out.
A Big Mac.
Oh, Jesus fuck! Did you guys see Mac's chat?
Hey, that's
Yes.
offensive.
that
Jesus
are
never did
coming up
that.
for vote?
Okay. What about Military Arms Channel?
I just
Yes, I
said
did
it.
see it.
So let's talk about these because I want to talk about it.
Okay, go for it.
Basically, tomorrow, HR 38, also known as Concealed Carry Reciprocity, is going for. I don't know if it's they're hearing it or they're voting on it or whatever, but in the judicial committee. So if it passes
it's gonna-
committee tomorrow, then it will go out to the main thing and all that stuff.
No, it is passed. It's going to be. He said it's going to be released from committee tomorrow.
Well, if
probably
they vote
voted.
on it and they vote yes, I mean, he doesn't know for sure he'll vote yes.
What was
But
that again?
national
HB 38.
reciprocity,
Oh, it's finally going somewhere.
yes. So, what
Is
are your
NRA
guys
done their
feeling with
shit?
that? Because I know some people are not super
And-
fond of it, and other
From-
people think it's okay, and other people think it doesn't
So-
really matter.
What Mac was saying is that it doesn't give the federal government any power. All it says is that license from another state has to be honored in all states, and that's it.
And that's the way I look at it as well.
So let's say
Is that the text of the bill?
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
says
that-
any.
right.
So it says any license from one state should be honored in any other state.
How
Well,
does
it
that
says
work
that.
in like
It
states
doesn't-
with magazine capacity? Like if you go somewhere that has a magazine
You have to
capacity.
follow the laws of
Okay.
the state,
yeah. So if
which
you're
is
in New
something
York,
that Mac didn't
so-
say correctly.
yeah. So let's say you're in New York, and you get a Utah concealed carry. You can then abide by Utah's laws and you'll get away from. You could carry where you want, and you'd be able to circumvent the 7-round magazine.
No, that's not at all what it says.
Yeah.
That's the exact fake news that Max said. That is incorrect.
Oh,
you can get a carry permit from Utah, and you can carry in New York, but you have to follow all of New York's laws.
That's
it's
like
just that they have to recognize the carry permit.
You can't carry hollow point.
Yeah, it's barely better
If
than
that's what New York has a law against hollow points, then yeah, you can't carry hollow points. But it's sure as hell a step in the right direction as far as being able to carry something.
Okay,
absolutely.
I understood that differently. I might have to go back and re-listen to it.
No, don't.
It definitely makes more sense.
Saying. Max said it wrong. That is what Max said. Mac was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Go back and read the bill if you want to see what it says. And it says in there you have to abide by the state law that you're in. And G-Webs had a great analogy, just like, okay, your driver's license works any state you go into, right? Great. Let's say there's a state that doesn't allow U-turns. It doesn't mean you can do a U-turn in the middle of the highway because your state allows U-turns.
True.
No, you have to abide by the state laws. You know, Michigan highways are 70 miles an hour. Some of them are 75. I still have to drive like a slow-ass fucking grandpa when I go to St. Louis because no one in Missouri knows how to fucking drive.
Hey,
you know, my license is still good, but I have to follow their stupid laws.
Okay, I get you there.
So does that mean
basically? I'm looking at the text of this bill. Every single state allows somebody to carry, even if it's highly restrictive.
Correct.
Because that's basically the criteria. This is a very simplified version of what they originally tried to do almost a year ago. That basically says, look, if you can get a carry license in the state you reside in, then you can carry in any state, basically, that allows people to get a license to carry. Even if it's highly restrictive, even like New York. Like New York, it's highly restrictive. It takes a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort to get that license to carry. It doesn't matter. If you can carry in that state, then you can carry if you're coming from another state.
Yeah, it says something about like any state which, you know, whatever. If you have a license, you know, from a state, any other state which allows its citizens to carry in some form, then that license from the other state counts. And I remember arguing with you before about this, and I don't know if I ever got.
Well, this is a completely different bill. This is not. This is nowhere near the same bill.
No, it's not. It's the other one.
This is not even anywhere close.
Well, where's the link to this new one?
I just literally did a Google search for HR 38 text.
HR
38. Because the old one, it said, say for argument, you lived in New York, you could, if you could get a Utah carry license, you could use that in New York.
Yeah, it does not address that. It doesn't address that per se. It doesn't address that per se specifically.
It did in the first one.
But the way it's worded it does specifically say let's see, who's carrying a valid license or permit which is issued pursuant to the state or pursuant to the law of the state which permits the person to carry concealed firearm or is entitled to carry in the state which the person resides. So this right there knocks it out. So, well, I'm in California, I'm going to go get a permit in Utah. No, you can't do that.
So they've changed it.
This bill right there says, hey, if you think you're living in California and going to get a Utah license you can carry in California, no, fuck you. That's not going to happen with this bill. That's not what this bill. Yeah, this bill does not cover that at all.
It also doesn't cover what the consequences are for a state that doesn't honor this.
It's true. Yeah.
Okay.
So
dude, you're still wrong, Matt.
In 30 minutes, Yankee is having a what Max said chat. So maybe never you could go over there.
I once again want to read this exact thing. So blah blah. Notwithstanding, you're not prohibited. Blah blah blah. I'll skip that part. Blah blah blah. Who is carrying a valid identification document containing photograph of the person, so you have to have an ID,
Uh-huh.
and who is carrying a valid license or permit which is issued pursuant of the law of a state and which permits the person to carry a concealed firearm, or is entitled to carry a concealed firearm in the state in which that person resides. Therefore, saying you can get any carry permit that's pursuant to the law of a state, not your state, not a residential, of a state, and then, or you come from a state, you reside in a state that allows concealed carrying, as in a constitutional carry state.
That's what I said.
So you do not have to have a resident carry permit. You either have to be a resident of a concealed carry state or have a carry permit from a state. That's it.
Yeah, that's
Well, if it allows it, cool. If it allows it, that's awesome. That helps out a lot of people. I still, as a base principle, don't like the federal government writing laws that have anything to do with our ability to bear arms. And I still think that's
I agree.
fucking.
And I
bullshit
also
across the
I hear
board.
you're hesitant, and I've heard G-Web's point of view. He's also not super gun ho on this, and I understand where the fear comes from, because if you tell the federal government, like, you can tell the states what to do, even though they're telling the states what to do in a positive way from our point of view, I'm going to play devil's advocate. The argument is, what if in the future an anti-gun government comes in and says, well, you already said it's okay for us to tell states what to do, therefore we're going to tell every state they can't give out carry permits.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue I have. Is it's a precedent. They're setting a precedent that they can tell people and states what they can or cannot do when it comes to carrying guns across state lines.
It's already set up. That's already set up in the Constitution. The federal government's allowed to tell states on certain constitutional rights, you have to treat everyone equally or whatever. You have to acknowledge other states.
Well, I mean, there's the 10th Amendment and that kind of thing. So there's some things they can, but
the 10th Amendment just says anything we didn't say specifically, then the states are in charge of. But they said specifically Second Amendment stuff, so it's actually kind of
it's one of those things where you can I can see the potential for greatness for people who care about gun rights, and I can also see the potential for 5-10 years down the road somebody uses this as a precedent to fuck us over. Right. And that's my fear. You know what I mean? Like that's one of the
I don't see how that.
We're always going to have that fear that they might turn a law.
I know, because they might just sign a national assault weapons ban or a turn them all in Mr. and Mrs. America ban. You know what I mean? Like there's always potential for something.
Oh yeah,
I don't see them using this to do anything to affect carry, because the only thing it's saying is, if you get a permit from one state, the other states have to honor it. Just like if you get the driver's license in one state, the other states have to honor it. If you get married in one state, the other states have to honor it. Mm-hmm. That's all it's saying. And I'm totally cool with that.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, so what is the rule? What was the path for nationwide gay marriage? What was that path? Because technically, do we need to write a new law for this if it's already been put out there? Because this is essentially the same argument for gay marriage.
Absolutely, it is. All this says is it has to go. The only thing this law says is that that this pertains to concealed carry licenses. I mean, it's already the law of the land if you read other issues.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like they basically they did this with it with gay marriage, which is fine. So shouldn't that just automatically apply to this? Like there shouldn't need to be another law.
Absolutely, it should. Absolutely.
So like I said, I am overly paranoid when it comes to the federal government stepping in to write any law about anything that has to do with our rights. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's maybe I shouldn't be that paranoid when people are coming in trying to write pro-gun stuff, but I still am, because I see the potential for abuse later on down the road.
You're gonna have that with every law.
Like I said, I totally agree with you, Matt. But at the same time, I don't see that potential in this one. Now, I was worried when I very first heard about it. Don't say, ugh, Smeggy, screw you, 6th Travis, or 20th Travis, or whoever the hell number Travis you are. But anyways,
that was
read the fucking bill. Read it. I just read it out loud. Read it for yourself. Learn English. Look at commas and periods. You'll understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
So anyways,
Smeggy, let me jump in here and say something now. Okay.
If people in the government knew what commas and periods meant,
we wouldn't be having this discussion. I totally agree with that.
now, here's the thing. Here's what most people, I guess, most people who don't know it don't know this, but most every state has their own constitution, and in that constitution, granted, not every state might have it, but most states that are part of the United States has some form of, the right of the people shall not be infringed, or we give the people the right to bear arms or own firearms of some sort. Not all of them, but most of them do. It depends on the state. I know South Carolina specifically, just basically they copy pasted, the Second Amendment from the Constitution straight into their Constitution. Pretty much, I'm pretty sure Texas also has something similar where they pretty much do the same thing. I mean, what about Arkansas for this?
I think they basically took a lot of the stuff from the U.S. Constitution. I don't know that 100%, but I think they did.
Right. So, Cycle Camp, you have some thoughts and some.
Whenever I moved to Arkansas, all I knew is that there was a lot of inbreeding here, so I was going to be single forever. That's about as far as I looked into Arkansas.
So about like 2 million people, like 10 last names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe 3 last names.
3 last names. Wow, that's rough. All right, Cycle Camp, you have an interesting perspective on this. What is your take?
So the biggest problem is that because SCOTUS is not defending the Second Amendment, it's totally abandoned it, that legislation is really our only reasonable alternative. Mm-hmm. If it was an executive order of some kind, it could be thrown out by the next president. But if we do it through the legislature, it is a much more secure methodology, and it also sends a clear message to SCOTUS: hey, stop screwing around with this stuff.
And and this law comes into effect 90 days after it is signed by the president.
Now, you brought up something interesting that I've been thinking about, the Cycle Camp. Now, all those justices that are on the Supreme Court, that are in the Supreme Court, they're all lawyers, correct?
I think the vast majority are either lawyers or former judges.
So if they're lawyers or former judges, could somebody make a case that they are not doing their job with the bar?
No, that's the separation of powers, man. You can't get away with that.
Okay. I just thought about it because they're not technically by refusing to hear. I get that they can only do so many cases a year or whatnot, but by refusing to hear a case in a specific genre, I'm going to say genre here, like the Second Amendment, they're refusing to hear all cases in that. I would say that they are neglecting their duties as a Supreme Court justice.
No, not really. The whole purpose of the Supreme Court is to standardize the application of the law across the circuit courts. And until you have 2 circuit courts that disagree, you have to have them disagree and they both have to appeal. Now you have a piece of law that one circuit court interprets it one way and the other circuit court interprets the other. That's when SCOTUS is really supposed to step in. Generally speaking, they won't step in if a constitutional challenge is there's no obvious contradiction. If there's no law from another state that another circuit that contradicts the laws in the First Circuit, and that's how come they didn't take up the which one was it? I think it was Peruta, because there weren't any other circuits that had ruled differently on that same matter, where you had two different circuits that had the same basic challenge and where they ruled differently. And same thing that happened with us. You know, we had our assault weapons ban. Our circuit court, our state court supported it. Our circuit court supported it, and the SCOTUS refused to hear it. Now the other guys have their assault weapons ban, but there's nobody. There hasn't been a circuit court that's ruled, yes, those are protected. You see what I'm saying? As long as individual circuit courts don't rule or rule that assault weapons are, it's okay to have a ban, SCOTUS doesn't have to step in because there's no conflict.
Okay.
Which sucks, but that's the way it is.
But now, in one of the things in the most recent one, the most recent assault weapons ban, they decided not to take. I was reading a thing, and one of the things they said was it was interesting because, and I forget which circuit court, upheld the ban, but the way they upheld it was basically saying that, AR-15s are not common or something like that. Like they had a different explanation than the other circuit courts did. Maybe I could find the things I'm not remembering as much as the current moment.
Oh, about what the...
But like the author of this
Supreme
article was talking, like that's it like whatever this the most recent circuit that upheld one of the bans, it goes directly against Heller, whereas the other ones would say like, oh, we can regulate this because like they're dangerous and scary and weapons of war or whatever. The most recent one's like, yeah, we can regulate, assault or ARs or whatever because like they're not common at all. And it's like,
the problem with that is SCOTUS is
one of the most common firearms in this country. And Heller specifically said, like, yeah, states are allowed to regulate, like, uncommon and, obscure or whatever. They said something, right? Because, I mean, Heller's not the best decision ever. I wish they would have just been like, all guns, leave it alone. But they didn't.
But the point is that they're in line. The SCOTUS is not allowed to enter the dispute as to finding a fact. That's the problem. So if the circuit court says, based on the facts we were presented with, we deem this weapon not to be in common use, SCOTUS has nothing to say about that. That's not their job.
But if in Heller they said you can't ban guns in common use, like for self-defense,
so the
for
circuit
personal
courts,
self-defense.
Right. So the circuit court says, we find this gun is not in common use. Hey, everybody agrees. You said it's okay to ban it if it's not in common use. We say, hey, it's not in common use.
So even though it is in common use because they found it not to be, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right. Because they lied and said it wasn't in common use.
Right.
SCOTUS's hands are tied.
Right.
Whereas in the Connecticut case, if they had taken the Connecticut case, the circuit judge admitted in his decision that the firearm was in common use. But he said public safety overrode that. So if SCOTUS had taken it, they would have been perfect. That would have been a perfect case for them.
Hold on. Show me in the Constitution where it says public safety overrides the law. I want to see that because you're not supposed to make decisions based on feelings and spirit of the law. You're supposed to make decisions as is justice as the law is written.
No, not if you're progressive.
Doesn't matter.
That's what a living constitution is. I mean,
it's now not a living document.
You're just raging against windmills here. I mean, not that I don't agree with you because I do agree with you. But I'm just saying the way that came down, that's the law of the land for now until we get a new one to change it. And that's what I was hoping for with these new cases, was that the Supreme Court would finally, once and for all, put down as the law of the land, your favorite quote, shall not be infringed. Like that, I think their case should just be like, shall not be infringed. What the fuck's wrong with you people? We've said it a million times. Throw this shit out. That's what, like, fucking, what's his face? The new Gorsuch should say or whatever. Just be like, all right, I know I'm new here, but What part shall not be infringed don't you idiots understand? Fuck all these laws.
I
And
got
get
a
rid of every gun law in the whole country. That'd be amazingly awesome. It'll never happen, but just saying.
It would.
Peggy, I got a question. I want to back up to reciprocity.
Okay.
We know it passed the House. What about the Senate?
Oh, see, that's the thing. It's in the committee. It's in a subcommittee in the House right now. So if they can get it out of subcommittee and committee, then they can go and send it to the House floor, and either it will get.
And you're inching closer to the answer he's looking for because he asked about the Senate, and that's the thing. As I heard,
let me finish. It'll get voted on in the House, and then if it gets voted on, it gets sent to the Senate.
I know that.
And then it gets filibustered in the Senate.
That's the problem.
We don't have enough votes in the Senate as of right now to kill a filibuster.
Unless they do the nuclear option on it.
They're going to have to do the nuclear option on it. In order to get anything done in the Senate right now, they have to use the nuclear option. And it's sad, but in the situation that people voted,
which I'm not a super fan of that, because once they already used the nuclear option for what was it like the lower court appointees, then they used it again for the Supreme Court appointees, and if they use it again for just any old bill, they feel like once you use that, then anyone just needs a standard majority from now on.
Well, talk to the liberals.
It's not just like a one-time nuke.
Well, you also have to remember.
Talk to the Democrats. They're the one that passed that legislation. They're the ones that passed that change in procedure because they wanted to screw the Republicans when the Republicans were the minority.
I know,
remember, they're also the ones that used to filibuster everybody
without a filibuster. You know what I mean? I like the idea of being able to filibuster some stuff. It's in the rules as of now for
the filibuster is unconstitutional. The filibuster is just a way to throw a wrench in the gears.
Yeah,
and I'm cool with that because most of the time, I don't like what Congress is doing. So the less stuff they pass, the fucking happier I am. I like when the government comes to a grinding halt.
Right. So, guys out there on the gun channels and the YouTube
government's
chat,
supposed to be.
If you guys have any questions or comments or anything, please send it to nightstryke1@gmail.com. That's nightstryke1@gmail.com, and we'll try and answer them and go over them. All right. So, where are we on this? Go for it.
Okay. So, I mean, I think we can go with we can put a pin in the reciprocity thing. I just want to summarize real quick. I think it's a step in the right direction. Obviously, I think the ultimate goal is just national constitutional carry. We all agree with that. But I'm pushing the boulder another 10 feet down the road. If you guys want to help me push the boulder, call your people, write your emails tomorrow. That's the thing. It's important. That's why I wanted to definitely mention it.
Tomorrow morning.
It's tomorrow they're going to be talking about this. So at least let's get one step closer, get to the floor. We'll deal with the Senate when we get to the Senate. You got to take them one step at a time, eat the elephant one bite. But the second thing, and I am legitimately new to this bill. It's HR 4434. Fix the NICS. Oh, cool. It rhymes. It must be good, right? All right. I'm hearing Mac was basically super against it. The reasons he's super against it, all he ever said was the NICS is dumb, basically. I'm summarizing. Now, I agree the NICS is dumb. However, I do not see what in this Fix the NICS bill, what part of it is really negative for gun rights.
No.
Other than the fact that the NICS exists, but let's agree the NICS exists. We can't change reality. It does exist. So by them, let me just summarize real quick. I don't know, it actually doesn't have a good summary, but basically what it says is that federal agencies have to, let me see if I'll read it exactly. Federal department or agencies shall submit a semi-annual written certificate to the Attorney General indicating whether the department or agency is in compliance with the record submission requirement under subparagraph C, which is basically the federal or departments have to say yep, everyone who should be prohibited by NICS that we have records for, we have submitted the records.
Yeah, if they don't have.
Now, I heard Mac talk about states.
But
I see nothing
NICS,
in here that forces states to do it.
But let's say you're in some place that has a marijuana law, and where you can get marijuana, not recreational, but for medicinal purposes. Then you can't get a firearm because they'll have to report that.
Why can't I post this link in the YouTube chat? That's dumb. Anyways, you guys just Google it. Under federal law, if you use marijuana, whether your state allows it or not, under federal law, that prohibits you.
You should be able to post that link in the YouTube chat because you are a moderator.
Yeah, it just says an error occurred. I see the little wrench and everything. I don't know why. So whatever. You fucking Google it. 4434. I found it in 2 seconds. It's called Fix the Nicks. Nice, happy rhyme, which makes me skeptical. Yeah, whenever shit sounds happy and rhymes, I get skeptical.
Can I jump in here a second?
I still don't. I don't get how. I don't see what this law or this bill is any more bad than just the fact that Nicks exists. Because here's the thing. You mentioned the medical marijuana thing. That's a state level. There's no federal department that gives out medical marijuana cards because federally it's illegal. So the federal department wouldn't have your name on a list anyways. The state would. And
but they have to report to federal.
Hold on.
No, this bill says nothing about the states. It talks about it forces the federal government semi-annually has to basically submit a thing that says submit a report, and then it goes through all these different things the report has to talk about. But it's basically all they have to do is set a report that says, yep, everyone we have records for, we sent to the FBI.
All right.
That's all it is. And then it does set up a grant for states that are already reporting stuff, that like they can get grants if they incentivize to keep reporting stuff.
Okay, great. Clover, you wanted to jump in here. Please jump in right now.
Yeah, I want to address something. I came in a little late, and I know you're up against the clock here, but
I'm not.
You had mentioned earlier. You were talking about they were certain states deem things too dangerous to own or something like that. And you said we're in the Constitution. Well, I'm gonna tell everybody, from a liberal's perspective, where in the Constitution they see that they can do this. And it's Article 1, Section 8, and it reads, the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. Now, it's clear by the language, and y'all talked earlier about ands and buts and commas and stuff like that. It's clear about that language. They're talking about financing the military and financing social welfare programs, basically, in a sense there. In other words, not letting people go hungry or something like that. But when it says and provide for the common defense and general welfare, that's where the liberals pull that clause out of Article 1, Section 8 and beat us over the head with it that, well, Congress has the power to, basically protect and take care of the people. And if something's too dangerous, they deem it too dangerous. Then the people, it doesn't need to be out there in the public. So that's one thing that you need to be aware a lot of times when you're fighting these things as to what the other side is thinking. And that's a part of the Constitution that they misinterpret a lot of things wrong. But that's definitely one that has for years been misinterpreted entirely wrong, to do a lot of damage, not only to the Second Amendment, but other amendments as well.
And you guys were talking about this whole fix and nix thing. I mean, it's a very, very fucking slippery slope, excuse my language. But, I mean, you guys brought up the example of the medical marijuana users. Yeah, Washington State, we have legal recreational marijuana. We also have had medical marijuana for, a decade. And when they implemented universal background checks here in Washington, guess what other steps they added? And then also when they added, so when they did universal background checks right around the same time was when recreational marijuana went into play. So they screwed with the medical system and made it so in order to get your medical card, you have to sign up through a state agency. And now guess what? The extended background checks, part of the extended background checks, they check with the state agency to see if you are in compliance with these different things. So just right there, you're a cancer patient, you use medical marijuana for pain, for nausea, for whatever because of chemotherapy, you're done. You cannot protect yourself. You cannot buy a gun.
Well, and that's something that Hawaii
and then yeah, my bad. But then it also comes down to, you know, them talking about doctors reporting this and that. And I mean, if you're not I understand somebody who has been labeled as mentally deficient or whatever by a judge should not own a firearm. But there should also be a process in place for them to dispute it. There should be a process in place for them to get that overturned, and it should not just come from a doctor having to report certain things to some stupid agency. And NICS is broken in the first place. So these quote fixes that they're adding does nothing to fix NICS. NICS is already broken. There's nothing they can do to fucking fix it.
I totally agree, and but I do want to address something that Philo said. I think he's calling us dumbasses. I don't know, maybe I'm a dumbass, but he says it creates new classes of prohibited people, you dumbass. Name a new class of prohibited person. What new class of prohibited person does it create? Show me in the law. Tell me what it is. Because if I'm missing something, on this one, like I said, I am open to having my mind changed. But there is no new class. Those people were already prohibited persons federally.
Let me answer your question. Okay, you remember back when Obama put into place that thing that would have stripped the rights of 200,000 some odd service members or anybody on Social Security who has somebody else do their finances, because just that was enough to get them labeled as mentally defective.
Right, that was an executive order that Obama did. That's not in Fix the NICS text.
The only reason it's not there is because Trump squashed that shit.
Okay, so something existed. Trump got rid of it. How are you?
Right, but the point is, what the law does is create.
It still is going to create amounts of people and call them
not directly
prohibited persons who
not directly. The point is, it doesn't directly create classes of prohibited people, but it creates an avenue where an administrative definition change would then have to be reported. So it creates an avenue for people with federal programs. If they get told, we're going to make an administrative change and these people are going to be considered as not being able to have firearms, they now by law have to report it. Got to do it. So it doesn't directly create a new class of prohibited people, but it makes it very easy to do so in the future.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You're saying it doesn't directly do it, but indirectly it does.
No, I don't think it does at all. You're talking two different things. All the Fix the NICS says, and I hate defending it. I'm just trying to be honest and open about my understanding of it. And that is, all it does is say, hey, if you're a federal agency, semi-annually, you have to submit a report confirming that you submitted everyone that you know of as a prohibited person into the NICS. And the reason they did that is because the Air Force dropped the ball and they didn't submit a person who was prohibited to NICS. They knew he was prohibited. They didn't submit it. So that's what they're trying to change. So in the future, if there's another executive order that says, hey, vets can't have guns, which I completely disagree with. I mean, I'm on your guys' side totally. But if they do that, just like they did when Obama did it, they don't need this Fix the NICS law to put that in place. If that happens, it would suck.
Okay, well, here's another group of people who would be affected by it is soldiers or anybody out there who suffers from PTSD. Because and who has sought treatment for it, because now all of that stuff is going to have to be reported through this new Fix the Nix thing, as I understand it, and that's being called a mental deficiency. And just because you have this, you suffered it 10 years ago, you went and sought help for it. So yeah, you're not allowed a firearm.
Are they prohibited? Are they prohibited people as of right now under the law? The way the law stands right now, exactly right this second, are they prohibited people?
Unless they've been
if they've been adjudicated mentally ill,
then yes, they are prohibited.
Okay. So all this would say is...
But that's not saying that everybody out there who has PTSD and is on some sort of social service program or whatever, that's not saying that all of them have been adjudicated mentally ill. But,
so then they wouldn't be required to submit...
Or adjudicated mentally defective.
Right. No, I get what you're saying. So it wouldn't require them... It wouldn't require the federal agency to submit those people. If they're not prohibited persons, they don't have to submit them because they're not prohibited persons. This does not create any new class of
which is
prohibited
why
persons.
it's such a slippery slope. They say, oh, well, this guy has PTSD. PTSD is a mental illness. So therefore, we have to report that, and therefore, he's now a restricted person.
I don't know. I don't buy it. No, let me say this.
I don't buy the Fix Nix bullshit.
I guess my whole thing of it is there are two separate issues here. Because again, like I said, I agree with you. Nix is messed up. I don't like Nix. I totally agree. But this is kind of like saying, okay, speed limits exist. We're gonna write a law that says if you catch someone speeding, you have to give them a ticket. It doesn't mean that the speed limit is going down. It doesn't mean that anything else is happening. All it's saying is if you know of a prohibited person, a federal agency, it doesn't do anything with the states, a federal department or federal agency has to submit this report saying, yes, we've submitted all the records of the people we know about. We haven't made up new people. We haven't, changed the definition of what a prohibited person is. These are prohibited people, and we submitted them. That's all it's making them do. It's basically making sure that they follow the law the way it's written now.
Okay, and do you not believe that if this were to go through, that is not just a fucking pathway for them to start changing some of these definitions and say, oh...
I don't think you need this to change the definitions. And I think Obama proved that when he did executive order. If they want to change the definition of who a prohibited person is, which again, I agree with you, is super slippery slope. And that's why I don't like saying, well, I agree that crazy people and bad guys shouldn't have guns. Like using those exact words, because they will extend the definition of who's a quote unquote crazy person. And they will extend the definition on quote unquote who's a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, if you think,
but they can do that now.
If you really think about that, I mean, I bet you over 50% of our cops out there either suffer from depression or suffer from insomnia or something, and it's probably job related or PTSD or something like that. And therefore, we go down this fucking slippery slope road. Even they are not legally allowed to buy guns.
I don't see this as adding any more lubricity to the slippery slope. And that's maybe I can just leave it at that and I'll let some other guys talk because I've been hogging the chat here. But it just, if they want to expand who a prohibited person is, they already have the means to do that. They can do it if they want, and we should fight it every time they do it. Totally agree with you. I've got your back 100%. You know me, shall not be infringed. Totally agree. They don't need Fix the Nix to say medical marijuana cards aren't allowed. They don't need Fix the Nix to say vets can't have guns. They don't need Fix the Nix to say, anyone who has ever seen a psychiatrist ever for any reason should be a prohibited person. Like, they don't need the Fix the Nix to do that. They could just do that. All this does is add you know, oh my God, why is fucking where I was on a roll there. It adds a punishment for federal departments who don't follow the prohibited persons list as it is right now.
Yeah, basically they're covering their ass on what the Air Force fucked up on.
Right. They basically want to be able to, if this happens in the future, go back to the Air Force and say, you guys messed up. And then, because I think there's like penalties for the actual person, like who's in charge.
I guess I don't have as much
Okay, you
faith
wanna-
in
you
the
know what?
system as you have, because I see this just creating whole different classes of prohibited people, and that's all I see.
You know why I really hate this law? Because it allows them to raid the Nix fund in order to pay for it.
Right. They're just trying to. It may just be that they're just trying to get at the money, and they don't really give two shits one way or the other.
Yep. The Attorney General may use funds made available for the National Instant Criminal Background Check System established under subsection B to provide technical assistance to a federal department or agency at the request of the department or agency in order to help the department or agency comply with the record submission requirements under paragraph C. So they can say, oh, guess what? We just slowed down Nix to a 12-day period now instead of a 3-day period because we had to raid the money to help other people with their reporting.
Yeah.
So I think that sucks balls pretty badly.
I agree.
Oh, you got a good point. Because just as you were saying that, I was reading this part that the Attorney General may use such sums as are necessary and otherwise available for the salaries and expenses of the Federal Bureau of Investigation to comply with this subsection.
Yeah, it's
so right there. It just says the Attorney General can give the FBI money if they say, "Well, we need more money because we got to do these checks."
Right. But the technical assistance clause in item J is the one where they can raid Nix for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at subsection 2 after, I guess it's after K, but either way, it's right in that same thing. I was just reading that as you were saying, the one above it.
All right. Well, we've pretty much run this one into the ground. Do you guys want to keep going, or do you want to just call it?
I think I touched on everything I wanted to. So, yeah, because I just want to talk about these things. We talked about the courts. Although we didn't mention the Florida one, the open carry, that also got denied by the Supreme Court, and that one sucked. I know we talked with Sean from Florida Carry about that when he, his group filed the thing. And I was hoping that
really
that would have went through.
So,
all right, I jumped in late. Have you guys covered the whole Hawaii thing?
No, what happened in Hawaii?
Pretty much just what we touched on just a second ago. So no, we didn't really get into it.
Oh, I just caught a Instagram post from G, and Hawaii is now based on, sounds like something similar to here, based on records and based on people who do have their medical marijuana cards. Sounds like they are now going door to door to said patients, people who are suffering from chronic illnesses, and taking their guns.
I don't think that has anything to do with federal law.
It doesn't. But
I don't know what it has to do with. I'm just
no,
because I just asked if you guys had covered it.
Yeah, the controlled substances list. The controlled substances list controls whether or not you can purchase a firearm, not whether or not you can possess one.
Right. So that's the state of Hawaii has decided that you can't own one if you have a medical marijuana card. And I have the letter right here. I just want to read it real quick. This letter is to inform you that under the provisions of the Hawaii Revised Statute, Section 34-7A, you are disqualified from firearm ownership, possession, or controlling firearms. Your medical marijuana use disqualifies you from ownership of firearms and ammunition. So that is under the Hawaii Revised Statute, Section 134/7A. HRS 347.3, seizure of firearms upon disqualification. If you currently own or have any firearms, you have 30 days upon receipt of this letter to voluntarily surrender your firearms, permit, and ammunition to the Honolulu Police Department or otherwise transfer ownership. A medical doctor clearance letter is required for any future firearm applications or return of firearms from HPD evidence. So you basically would have to go to a doctor and say, like, give me a letter saying you revoke my medical marijuana, and then I can get my guns back.
You know, it's
Absolutely
great.
insane.
It's great this is happening in Hawaii because the number of boating incidents you're going to have in the next 30 days is going to rise exponentially. You know, I don't know what happened. They fell overboard,
Here's the
officer.
thing. So, you know, he said something about going door to door. I don't think they're necessarily going door to door yet. I think they sent these letters out. They say you got 30 days when you get the thing. You give them a couple months, and I guarantee there's going to be knock, knock, knock. Hey, just following up on that letter. Mind if I look around? And if someone's dumb enough to say sure or okay, then fine. Now, they might go and get a warrant for every single person who they know has, because here's the other problem. In Hawaii, you have to have, it's like similar to a FOID card. Like, you have to have like a gun permit to own a gun in Hawaii. So they just basically are looking at two lists going, gun cards, pot cards. Who has both? And so that might be enough to get a warrant saying, hey, judge, we think this guy has guns. We think this guy has pot. We're going to go check out, see if he has both at the same time.
Question. If the guy has the permit to buy a gun, he goes buy one, fills out the 4473, he has to check off if he's taking marijuana. If he checks no, he's lying.
No, but this isn't purchased. This is people that already possess them.
Right. So what if he purchased it before he got the medical marijuana card?
So what happens if he's on a marijuana card now and he goes to buy a gun? Does he check yes or no? If he checks yes, he's not going to get the gun.
Correct. And
for some people, it says,
are
you an illegal user? And in their state, no, they're not an illegal user. But that's I know what you're going to say. You're filling out a federal form, so you got to go by federal law. But in his state, if he's got a card, he's not an illegal user.
Yes, but they have just recently, I think it was last year, they updated the 4473 and added a little like asterisk next to that question, or a little subnote number 2 or 1 or whatever, and it says something to the effect of, even if it's legal in your state, just for the record, it's illegal federally, so you have to click yes. Like, that's it. They added a little thing, like a clarification note that says it doesn't matter what is legal or not legal in your state. If you use marijuana, you must check yes for this answer. And that, then you wouldn't be able to buy it. The thing is, in Hawaii, since you have to go get a state level thing first, the state's not going to give it to you because they have the record, because it's a state level record that you have a medical card. Man, I'm not really enjoying all these spam bots on our chat here, but
we got spam bots, really?
Yeah, I do like the idea of getting some hot dates or whatever, so maybe I should be clicking on these links. Yeah, so that's the third one now. Hey, hot singles or something.
You don't need to click on those. You need to direct the nightstryke to them.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm not letting him get all of the sexy Russian prostitutes without me. I got first dibs.
Hey, well, you gotta look out for nightstryke. I mean, he ain't been laid in how long?
We don't talk about that on air. we do not talk about that on air.
Sounds like there's nothing to talk about.
That long.
So anyways, all right.
Come on, guys.
I think now we've handled all the gun stuff. We've talked about both Supreme Court cases that they decided not to hear. That's a bummer because those were potential for good ones. We've talked about Hawaii. We've talked about 38, 44, 34, which is national reciprocity, and fix the NICS.
Has anybody
We've
seen
almost
any
had an Every
dissenting?
Second Matters chat here tonight, and that's coming up this Saturday.
It is.
I'm going to be traveling for work, but I'm hoping to have some time to be able to do an Every Second Matters chat.
Don't do it at 3 p.m.
Has anybody seen any documentation from any dissenting judges on the refusal of the cases?
No, they
Like
they
Boris
on
said,
these
and the other
ones they
guy-
just refused them, which is a little disheartening because at least last
Yeah.
time when they diffused it, there was a dissent from Thomas that's like, dude, this is dumb. We should have heard the Perota case.
Peruta
They were
case,
like,
yes.
we should have heard this because this is important.
Yeah.
And this one, they're just like, nah, don't want to hear it.
Oh,
All right,
boy.
we got something out there in the chat. Travis, are you still awake?
Yeah, I've been listening and laughing the whole time, guys. Yeah.
Meldon out there on the YouTube chat is saying you should buy that SIG P320 from SS Pawn.
Stan, he won't sell me any of his guns. He won't sell them from his private collection. He does not part with his firearms. So,
doesn't he have a P320 for sale at the shop?
He did, but I think he sold it. I don't know if he still has one or not. I was just there the other day, but I didn't look in the pistol case. I mean, I can get one from him, easily. I can order one and have one in about 4 days.
All right. Okay.
I'm getting ready to take it out to the range. I got a 40 that I'm going to take out. I just did the cleaning video tonight and posted it on Patreon.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, I think that's it for tonight. I think we've pretty much run it into the ground and gone even further.
Can I plug something real quick?
Hold on, let me finish. We have gone so far down the hole and into the center of the earth, we have spit back out on the other side near China. So we're good. Now, Smeggy, last call.
Okay. And so I did kind of mention Every Second Matters is coming up, obviously, on the 2nd of every month. If anyone's listening or in this, you should know what the hell it is. But I do want to put out there, like I said, I might not be able to be in the thing. If you've been watching my channel the past couple months, you've seen I've put out a little, 5, 10, 15-minute long video of just myself going through every bill in the past month that's either been introduced, passed, vetoed, whatever, state level, federal level, all that stuff. I plan on making one of those just by myself. I normally do it live, but I don't read the comments and stuff. But you might be able to catch me on a good day and see it live, and then I will post it on Every Second Matters. Hopefully someone will play that segment during the whole show. So keep on a lookout for that.
All right. Travis, side chat. Anybody else?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I want to plug something. I will be doing Caliber Corner on Saturday for at least the next 3 weeks until Christmas. So we should have Caliber Corner on Saturday at 8 a.m. Central Time on gunchannels.com. And then, God, there's something else I was going to tell you guys. No, I think that's about it for now. Oh, and then on VidMe, just on VidMe, I'm pretty excited. I got I hit my 500 sub today on VidMe, which was really cool. I'm enjoying that crowd over there. It's just a nice change from YouTube. Just it's a lot of fun. So if you guys aren't over on VidMe, make sure you check it out. Check out most of you guys here on the panel have channels over there. Or you've put content over there, so do check out VidMe if you get a chance. Because again, we never know how long our YouTube channels are going to last. So if we ever disappear, you can find us on VidMe.
I've got 213 followers on VidMe right now, and I'm very thankful to even have that much. So
I got a plug.
Check us out.
So did those 213 people see how flawlessly your AR ran today?
That was just the bump fire, and that's the reason. That is actually one of the main reasons why bump fire stocks aren't as effective as
I'm just giving you shit. I'm just giving you shit.
No. You bring up an excellent point. You know how they're saying bump fire stocks are evil and they need to be banned and whatnot. Because I wasn't using brass ammunition in that rifle, I was using the Steelcase 223 Tula. It did not want to run properly and bump fire properly. Because the thing is, with some ammunition, you just can't do that with bump fire. I'm not kidding. You think I'm joking, and I'm not.
No,
You see different. You were joking. No, you don't have a sense of humor.
That's
fine.
Finicky, so that makes sense.
That tutu. I think I'm gonna start getting some of that Wolf Gold and use that instead of the Tula 223, because the Tula 223 just doesn't have any kick to it.
Wolf Gold is decent stuff.
So
I run the Tula 223 through my Bear Creek and it runs fine, but I also wasn't doing a bump fire stock. I will be testing out some Wolf Classic steel case. I got a case of that coming really good deal on that from Target Sports USA. So I'll see how that runs through the Bear Creek. I basically run 75% steel case through that rifle, and it's always run well. Of course, I keep it clean as a whistle, but still, yeah.
All right. Out there, guys out there on the chat, if you haven't, check my YouTube channel. I did a backyard chat titled Backyard Chat #1, Range Time What? So, yeah, check that out. I've also got it uploaded on VidMe, and as soon as we're done with Hit or Miss and it's finished processing, I am going to upload that to VidMe as well. So, there we go. Just do us a favor. Check us out on Patreon. Check us out on, Twitter, Facebook. Check us out on, where else? VidMe and YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, upvote, comment, whatever. Other than that, final words, anyone?
Yeah.
What's up, Rick?
Watch my show, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday. Rick's Life as I See It. Thank you.
And Clover?
Shall not be infringed.
All right. So, on that note, everyone, thank you all for listening.
Hold on.
What? Wait, you got more?
Yes, I got one thing to say. Midnight Range TM, go fuck yourself.
Okay.
Snap.
Jeez.
Thank you all for listening. This was Hit or Miss.
Silent Night Strike. Oh.